Hello everyone, welcome to William in the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have Xander. Xander is from England in the UK. So let's see what Xander has to say. Enjoy the interview. So hello Xander, how are you?
I'm doing darn good, thanks, fella. And how's your day been so far?
It's been great actually. It's been a bit cold this morning in London. However, it's been a great day.
No, just keep the tea going and you'll be fine.
Let me see your mug again. What says there in your mug?
That's to say, this is sometimes the morning mug. I can't adult today.
I think a lot of people are going to relate to you for sure.
It's not every day you have that mug, but you get your days.
So tell me, where are you from, Xander?
So I'm in the lovely state of Worcestershire. So as one of my jokes is, I'm the second sauciest thing here. And yeah, quite regularly, I've been here, then everywhere, but this is where I've been living for the last few years.
Wow. And where are you from originally?
Bit of a difficult one. I was born down in Salisbury, but I'm from an army family, so we moved around a lot. So from England, I've also been in places like Germany, Cyprus, and other places.
Oh wow, interesting. I had at least two or three guests on the show that they had the same way of being brought up as well. Their family moved around. The last one was a lovely man from the US, but he was moving just around the US, not around the world. And for you, when you look back, having this experience, do you think was a plus for you, or it was a bit challenging?
It's got its pluses and negatives, I find, because it makes me a bit more worldly. So I'm more open-minded to things. I can think of different perspectives, but I don't have that sort of hometown or home roots feel like a lot of people. Like some people who have lived and grown up somewhere, like they could go away for a little bit, but come back like nothing's ever changed for them. So for me, it's a perk that when I'm up and moving, I'm okay. But it's just a case of it's weird not having a place to call a hometown or such.
Interesting. And tell me, what do you do for work, for living, Xander?
So I work for an engineering company, and I'm pretty much the guy who gets them all in their vehicles, keeps the vehicles going, everything running nicely, and of course helping with all this clean air zone shenanigans stuff we've been having the last few years.
Amazing, amazing. And how far are you from London, the place you're living right now?
Well, I'm not too far away from Burnham area, so it's a good trek. But otherwise, it's easy to get to London to Burnham with a snap of a train.
Amazing. Right, so before we start our journey within the Magic Box, I would like you to tell me something that not many people know about you, or something interesting about yourself.
Let's see, something not many people know about me. Well, one thing I've slowly been open up to a few of my friends is I've got an unknown heart condition, but it's nothing fatal, thankfully. But technically, it's resulted in me having an internal cardiac device. So my nerdy side, I can say technically I'm a cyborg because I'm a mechanically enhanced human. It's something not many people know about, but it's also kind of randomly cool.
Wow. Wow. And when was the time when you had the operation and you need to put it on?
The first surgery for it was about 8 years ago, and when they put the device in, and I had surgery for it nearly 2 years ago to replace the battery. It's a case of it doesn't do its job all the time. It's just a case of it does its thing when my heart does something really weird, which usually is rare.
I see. All right. So during the journey, I'm going to explore a little bit more about your life and also about your journey so far, okay?
I'm looking forward to it. And getting to know you, of course, William.
Say again?
And of course, getting to know you as well.
Of course, absolutely. It's going to be sharing information, sharing things about
absolutely.
Right, I'm just going to play a song. Okay, welcome to William and the Magic Box. I'm just going to play a song now just for us to relax a bit for the first question, okay?
I'll have a good jingle.
Let's do it. Right, so before we start the game, during the journey, if it comes up a question that you don't want to talk about some reason, you don't want to answer, always can change, okay?
Bring it up.
First question for you is, what is your favorite guilty pleasure TV show?
Favorite guilty pleasure TV show? Ooh. As a big geek, I'd have to say I'm torn between saying either Full Metal Alchemist, which is an anime series I love, or Stargate SG-1.
What they are about? What's it about?
So Full Metal Alchemist is an anime series where it's got not exactly magical, but basically alchemy, where you can create things using circles and such, and basically hit main protagonist and his brother trying to restore themselves and explore, trying to learn things out, and they end up kind of saving the world in a way for their quest.
Wow. And are you kind of more a person that watch more movies or series?
I bounce between the two, but I'd say I'm definitely more of a series guy than a film guy. In case if there's a particular film series, then yeah, I'm definitely watching that. But series is my main.
And you prefer to watch in the cinema, or you prefer to watch at home?
I do probably once or twice a month go to cinema, but that's only because of a real yes, I want to see that film. Otherwise, I'm happy to wait to watch it on TV when it comes on, whether it's streaming or.
Do you remember which movie did you watch the cinema? The last one?
The last one I watched was Ghostbusters: The Frozen Throne, because I've loved Ghostbusters since I was a kid, so it's one of several of my main favorites. And yeah, if you ever get chatted, so I think you've chatted actually a few people who we both know already, and yeah, I'm a big nerd.
Amazing. All right. Next question. Let's do it. Next question for you is, good question. If you're not yourself, would you like to be yourself, and why?
I usually say yes, I like to be myself, because with how I'm with various communities, from the gay community, kink community, and such, I found I've been very helpful to help for someone people talk to, because I'm very approachable, and I quite enjoyed that. I'm someone they can actually feel like comfortable to talk to about these things and ask, because if I don't know, I learn, and that's what I like. So yeah, I definitely like myself for myself. It's just, as you know, we all have our off days.
Totally. And when you think about yourself, Xander, when you analyze yourself, what's the biggest joy of being you? What do you like the most about being Xander?
I like the fact that I can bring things out of people, whether it's they really need to talk about something, or I find that the best way to put it is I've got what I call Lucifer trait. I bring things out of people by either naughty desires or they're something they've been holding back as such, and yeah, they can just end up feeling a lot barefoot because they're not holding that in anymore. It's something they can be more open and freely about. That's one thing I like to do.
And you always been this way? You always had this mindset?
Not always. Best way to describe it, when I was a little kid, I was the very shy, chronically stuttering kid. It's taken a lot of years of self-training and what I call bakering, after Tom Baker, where you go up to someone, just offer them a sweet, like, would you like a jelly baby? That's something that's helped me a lot over the years with follow-up training I've done for myself, so I can speak a lot better, work on a vocabulary, and well, just be my charming, flirty self when I can.
Amazing. I love that. Next question.
Go for it.
Right. So before the next question, as you mentioned about, your side of, kink and sexual, and I can see that you express yourself very open about your sexuality. Tell me, how for you start your journey to be so open about your sexuality?
Well, I've originally started off with my things like what was there back then, my Twitter page. It was more about being body comfortable and being sexually open. So a lot of people, Europe and such is a lot more open, but Britain and America, they're still quite closed. It's getting better, but they're not very openly expressive about sex. I think it's quite taboo, and I'd like to prove that's not. And there's a lot of wonderful, and you can be a much more wonderful and open person just for exploring these sexual desires and kinks and everything else. Because honestly, if you have never met anybody in the kink community, you'll find they're a lot more openly honest, genuinely talkable people, and it's great that way because there's nothing sheltered from them. They can be themselves and open about it.
When you talk about kink, what's your definition about being kink?
So being kink it could be a particular lifestyle, which can be anywhere from the everyday to what they get to enjoy as a more freely expression version of themselves. There's also obviously the sexual element to it too, where it could just be something particularly they find arousing, which isn't for everybody, so which borders into fetish, but it's just a case of it's a quirk and a way that they are probably a bit less different than some of the average Joe person on the street.
Amazing. Good.
Because pretty much like I enjoy stuff like this on because even though it's padlock around my neck and heavy and weighty, it's a nice little reminder that I'm free to be me right now because I've got something like this as a reminder.
I was about to ask about your necklace. I was about to ask if it was something connected with it. Amazing. Okay, next question is, what is one food you could eat for the rest of your life?
Ooh, one food I could eat for the rest of my life. Okay, I'll definitely say, growing up around various places, I've enjoyed a variety of lovely foods, but I'd say one of my favorites, like to make at least once a week, every few weeks, is my chicken salsa wraps, because it's full of flavor, nice and zesty, good balance of the whole acid, fats, and meats and such. And honestly, I could just have a plate full of those easy, and I'd make them for a bundle of people at a time usually. So it's not just a meal I make for myself, it's a meal I can share with others and just enjoy.
Do you like cooking, Xander?
Oh, very much so. I especially enjoy being an improvised cook as well. So, you know, when you got people who say, oh, there's nothing to eat, and I just go, really? Open up the cupboards, open up the fridge, grab stuff, and I can make a bountiful meal just out of what I can find and whip up from it.
Wow. And there's something that your friends or people around you that they love to eat when you cook, something that's your specialty?
Well, aside from chicken salsa wraps, I do a variety of German dishes. So, and I quite often sort of home make some variety of foods too. So I make stuff like pickled red cabbage and that lot, a variety of jams, and it's a bit of a family tradition. But come the November season, we go out pick slowberries, and I make homemade sloe gin, which doubles as a nice Christmas gift for people as a way of passing forward. So, yeah, I love making stuff and sharing a variety of foods and drinks for people to enjoy.
And there's something that you can't eat at all that you don't like to eat?
My main ick of food would probably be anything that's sort of licorice tasting, so like aniseed. Honestly, first time someone gave me a sambuca and I had it, I was running to the toilet. I felt sick beyond belief. Tequila, yeah, sure, no problem. But that's the thing that touched my lips. I was like, no.
I'm gonna share a funny story with you right now. The first time I got drunk in my life, like literally drunk, was actually in London, and it was my birthday. And guess what? I remember dancing, and I remember my friend came up to me and said, William, have a shot of this. I was like, no, I don't. I said, please have a shot. And he gave me, and it was sambuca. I'm talking now, I can taste the taste of it, just talking about. Anyway, and I was like, oh, it's quite sweet. Okay. And he brought me another one, and he brought another one. And I was at one point, I got sick about. I was like, oh my God, I cannot even taste. No. And until this day, I cannot even taste anymore. And now I'm talking about, you see, it's still there that I cannot even talk, that I can taste it somehow. You know what I mean? Sambuca. So yeah, no.
Triggered memory, yeah. I get that.
Next question, let's do it. Hey Xander, next question is, if you could go back in time in one moment or memory in your life, what that would be and why? For any reason.
I'd probably go back to some of my days back in the military academies I was in, because being abroad, you're usually in military academies and military schools instead of public school. Mm-hmm. And dealing with the fact of being kicked and bullied down for being awkward looking and being the gay guy of the year and such. And I just tell them the fact is, they can try and do that as much as they can, but they're very dependent on you giving up first. Maybe here's what happens if you just keep going and you stand up to those bullies, because they're very dependent on you being the weak one to them. Wow. So I just say, keep going, keep moving forward, smile, and take each little win as it comes.
Funny enough, today I was thinking about that, about growing up in school and, have those bullying situations. And you know what I was thinking about? I don't know if there is still this kind of program in schools, but I was thinking, you know what? I think teachers or people who work in education, they should find a way to focus on that more. You know what I mean? Somehow. So I don't know how, but they could find a way because, you know, some I think most of the people, all of us, we had so many situations in our life growing up at school, and some people they loved school, but just because the situation of bullying, you know what I mean, they lost interest, or they didn't want to go to school anymore. And I'll think about that today. I'll think about the magic boxes. Like, oh my God, people they talk a lot about being bullied at school, growing up. And I was thinking to myself, my goodness, they could find a way, because I think the adults, teachers, they should find a way to, okay, let's see what can we do to, make, not, to at least to stop a little bit of it. So maybe because so many children, they have really hard times, you know what I mean? And for example, I can see you're strong and you can talk about, but imagine some people, they might be they don't have the same, strength, and they might, go in a wrong direction somehow.
I will say, yeah, that's definitely been a case of it's hands are a lot more tied nowadays when it comes to dealing with bullying, even if there's anti-bullying policies. The main thing is, especially aside from dealing with the bullies, it's also what you take from what you've dealt with bullying. For some people, it's made them feel broken, feeling very angry and such, and they try and pass it on, which is not a way to do it. But I found that sometimes the most broken of people from these sort of experiences can end up being the kindest and caring of most people, because they actually can learn empathy, they can see things from different perspectives, and they just want to try and avoid someone else having that pain which they probably dealt with themselves. That's how I view it for myself, at least. I try and do what I can for others so they don't have to go through the pain that I went through.
Absolutely. Yeah. Ready for another one? Let's do it. Next question. Before the next one, tell me, for you, how was growing up as a gay boy? Did you have the support of your family, besides school or besides, your experience, but how was for you?
So pretty much it's a case of I came out back when I was 14, and yeah, it's a case of very nerve-wracking. I decided to come out to my parents first before anybody else, and my mother, she's a big-time Earth mother. Also, it's a case of she loved me no matter who I am, and I was just like, yeah, of course, and she took me in because she's actually got a sister herself who's a lesbian, so she grew up with this sort of understanding of it's not easy, but it's good. But when such things do, it's good to appreciate it. My dad, because he was from a bit of an army family, he was a little, I wouldn't say rejected, but I'd say he was a little quiet for a week or two, just making his mind up around it. But he did accept me, because the fact is, no matter what, I am his son. It's a case of it doesn't change anything about me, because who I am is who I am, and it's just one part of me, not all of me.
Absolutely. And do you have siblings as well?
Yeah, I've got one sister who, amusingly enough, is now married to her wife for about 8 years or so. So one of the jokes I like to say to all my friends when they ask, "Oh, but case of you're gay and she's lesbian," well, she's technically bi, but she's more on the lesbian side. I just go, "Yep, our parents raised us right."
I love it. It was the perfect brought up way of brought you both up. Tell me something. Which person in your family you are more close to?
Definitely more my mother, because she's quite like-minded like me, and she's very caring. So, and we have this lovely bounce back talk of various things such as philosophy, science, and everything else. So whenever it comes to picking her mind, she's one of the picking my brain. Sorry, she's one of the best people I can go to, because we just bounce off each other with such creativity and talk. We've done hours before talking over about things of the world, things of concern, ways around problems, and even, of course, how we've been able to help people in the past with what we've learned, because we just like to try and put some good in this world instead of adding the bad to it.
Wow, I've got goosebumps now. You're saying that. Wow, beautiful. Let's say now she's watching this interview right now, your mom, and you have the opportunity to send her a message, to say something to her. What would you say right now?
I'd say that through all the hardships she's had from her youth to now has made her the most loving, kind, thoughtful women I've ever met in the world. And no matter what, I am proud to be her son. And I'm proud that she's been able to touch so many lives, even if it's just in small ways.
Oh, beautiful. I love it. Next question is, what makes you very sentimental?
I'm very sentimental just because with moving around a lot, well, let's face it, if you're moving around a lot, you're guaranteed to lose things and such, and having to make new connections and new friends and such. So, as much as I'm sure some people like flowers or something like that, I'd rather make memories I can share with someone than it be just an object or such. So I like to make these moments where I can make a big feast. I can go do an adventure with one person or several people, because the more you share with people in moments, the more that's going to last you a lifetime, especially for memories to come.
Totally. I strongly believe that people, they always gonna remember how you made them feel. Doesn't matter how, you know what I mean? As you said, cooking for someone, give them a something, a little gesture, anything. People, they gonna always remember how you made them feel, for sure. Yeah, good. Next question. Before the next one, tell me, Xander, in your opinion, what's the biggest stigma that people still have regarding the kink community?
I'd say one of the biggest stigmas is they seem to think it's wrong or such, but it's not. It's just another form of expression, which can be, no matter what, is with a lot of the kink community. One of the biggest things is consent and respect. It's the give and take of that between all of us. So as long as there's respect and people are willing for such things, then it's brilliant. If not, that's fine. You can step back and take space. There's also this idea that they think it's just not something that should be in the world, but the fact is, it has been. It's been something that's been. It's like the sex industry. It's been around for millennia. It's just most of the time people aren't aware of it, or they just don't want to think about it.
Totally. And I think with nowadays people, they are more I think because of social media, people, they are more educated about as well. People, they are express themselves more than ever. And I think it's helping people open their mind a little bit more, understanding that, it's people that are just expressing themselves. Doesn't matter, could be regarding sex, could be regarding other things as well. And people, they feel more free and open as well to express themselves in a way that maybe they never did before, or maybe social media wasn't showing that much before.
And it's a great form of self-discovery. You could actually find more about yourself than you ever thought you knew possible. Because the idea that you know everything I think would be a sad thing. Yeah. But the fact that there's more to know, more to learn, it's an amazing, wonderful thing.
Absolutely. Good. Next question is, if you could have a cup of tea or a coffee with a fictional character, who that would be and why?
Fictional character. Ooh, that's going to be a tough one.
You're looking around. Yeah.
Let's put it this way. I've got a plethora of books here along with movies, so that I'm just thinking, out of all of my stories, who would I love to have met, fictionally wise? Sherlock Holmes.
Right.
Yes, granted, I know he was quite a drug addict, but the idea that I could pick someone's brain, he could be picking mine at the same time, with such thoughtful and creativity, like he did with Watson, would be a great experience. Just to see how he ticks and how he understands and sees the world.
Amazing, good one. 3 questions left. Let's do it. Next question for you is, what do you like the most about your best friends?
Each of my best friends, I'd say, because it's a case of I don't have one best friend, I've got variety, which are just many different levels. I love how some of them are quite independent, some are very dependent, but they all work together in different ways. It's like a recipe at times. They're all individual things, but when you put them together, you'd be amazed what you can make out of it. Something wonderful. And yeah, some of my best friends I probably might not see for years. Others I might see so frequently it's like hi, but no matter what, it's like there's no time gap whenever together.
And tell me, what's the biggest similarity between you and your best friends, and the biggest difference?
Sorry, pardon?
Can you tell me the biggest similarity between you and your best friends and the biggest difference?
So I'd say the biggest similarity to me and a lot of my friends are we've all worked through some interesting things, and we might have either either could be cognitive behavior or just sort of little quirks to ourselves, which makes it so other people won't get us. But when around each other, it's just it's like an even playing field. We just can't feel comfortable around each other. But I'd say for other things which might be difference between us, I'd say it's like I'll say it's a musical film. Sometimes they go like yes, and it's like no, just please no.
That's interesting. 2 questions left. Let's do it. But before the last question, sorry, the next question, when you think about your time, living abroad, growing up in different countries, different places, tell something interesting or a memory that for you, they're never going to forget, that something that happened to you in another country or a situation that for you always you're going to remember for some reason.
I'd say one memory I'll always have is with one of our stays over in Germany, where basically we ended up being snowed in for quite a few weeks and couldn't really get out as such. And this was actually during the Christmas season, so ended up not being able to watch much TV because power was sort of in and out and all that lot. So we had candles and such. And there's this Christmas thing called an Advent candle thing. It's like looks like a great big windmill with candles at the bottom, and the heat from it causes it to rotate around. One of my favorite memories from that is when we were all sort of just curled up, sort of just enjoying the candlelight and ambience, just enjoying the peace. It was such a tranquil moment that I'd say I could easily look back on and just have it as a fond memory. Just like I could be as angry or frustrated by just thinking of that, and it's just like calm. It just washes over me.
Amazing. Okay. Next question is, tell us about your guilty pleasure.
Oh, see that's a difficult one because I'd say I've got so many guilty pleasures, especially given some of my vices in life, which is geekery, especially games, such food, and of course naughty joys, shall we say? I'd say one of the biggest guilty pleasures would be I could probably game for an entire day if I wanted to,
Really?
Not have a problem with that. I know people think I'm being antisocial, but they're like, no, just game. But yeah, I could game a whole day away if I'm not careful. So usually I'm having to occasionally glance at the time. I go, yeah, I probably should get off now.
Do you consider yourself to be more of a day or night person?
Yeah, it's just a case of I enjoy my escapism. So my stories, my movies, my games and such. But I also like to be here in reality. So that's why I just go, ooh, yeah, okay. Friends want to hang out. Time to turn off. Go and enjoy.
Last question, ready? Let's do it. That's fun. But before the last question, if you could, share something like people being bullied. I think even as an adult, it can happen to us as well, not just a child. What would be your message for those people who maybe they are facing right now something like that, or maybe they feel like they are not part of the world we are living now, or maybe a community they feel like they are alone out there? What would be your best piece of advice for those people?
My best piece of advice for people who are sort of feeling alone, separated, segregated, and there's nobody there for them, I would just say a lot of us have all felt that. Even the most popular and such people kind of had their moments of feeling absolutely alone. They can actually feel alone in a crowded room. It's strange, but it's true. The thing you got to remember is push through. Don't let it grip you. Don't let it hold you down. Go out. Make some moments. Make some little joys. Find hobbies which you can then share with others. Find something which can get you to connect to another soul in this world. Because you're not as alone as you think. There's 7 billion, if not more, people now in the world.
Yeah,
that's more than you've got more than a good chance to be able to at least make a good friend.
Amazing, great. Last question is: what is your favorite place in the entire world and why?
Oh, my favorite place in the world. I'd have to say it's been a time when I've been out on sea before, because when you're out in the ocean, whether it's on a boat, well, back at one point it was a hovercraft. You don't get that nowadays, unfortunately. A cruise or anything like that, or even just a little ship. Is the fact that you've got all that motion, all that noise and such, but you just look and everything just can be so still in traveling across, and especially at sunset or at night when you're out in the far out of the waters, you get such amazing views of the sky. It can be freezing cold, but that sight is far more breathtaking than the actual cold air.
It sounds very romantic.
Now, I'm a bit of a romantic, sentimental guy, so yeah.
I can see, as soon as you start describing, I could see the whole scenario, the whole thing. It comes for sure for a romantic person, that for sure. Right, so then yet, let's play now the word association game. Okay, I'm going to give away some words. Just tell one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking. Let's start with family.
Family. Home.
Money.
Adventure.
Fear.
Nightmare.
Love.
Passion.
Life.
Joy.
Sex.
Delight.
Religion.
Optional.
Politics.
Optional.
Friendship.
Necessary.
Desire.
I'd say that's definitely necessary too.
Regret.
I'd say fades.
Success.
Ideal.
Wish.
Hope.
Happiness.
Life.
One word for England. England, one word.
Pride.
And the last one now, kink community, one word.
Freeing.
Amazing. Let's pretend I'm going to meet your best friend for a coffee, and I'm gonna ask your best friend, define Xander in one positive word and one negative word only. What your best friend would say?
I'd say for a good word for me, I'd say approachable.
Okay.
And for my negative, I'd probably go with derpy, because I do have my special moments where I could be either absent-minded or clumsy as such. So I could be a bit derpy, and then I say like, oops.
If I would ask the same question to your lovely mom, would be the same answer?
Mum definitely should be very approachable, so that's always straight away. As for the floor, I'd say forgetful, because sometimes she could be, long-term memory can be like that for anything. But if you ask her something and then ask her about it again, she go, "What?
I forgot."
Yeah, sorry, I forgot.
Let's play now, Xander, and the magic box, and you can ask me a question. But hey, Xander, you can ask me a question now.
What would you say is your most favorite feature about yourself? Could be physical, could be expressive, your personal favorite.
Oh my God, what a great question. If I'm not wrong, over 1,200 interviews I've done on the show so far, nobody asked me this question yet. Wow. Wow, you put me in the spot big time, Xander, right now. I love the kiss. Right, so good question. Put me in the spot right now. Wow, my goodness. It's something, it's interesting, the question, because, when I see someone to get my attention, my friends, they have a joke with me. Sometimes I go like, oh my God, I saw a handsome man in the street. They go like, oh yes, of course. I know your conception of a handsome man. They don't believe sometimes. For me, they go like, Anyway, I think for me, Xander, physically, I think, okay, I know the answer right now. When I see someone, like dressing up or, or express themselves in a way the most simple way you can imagine, it gets my attention. And I'm going to explain that to you. I remember like going out. I remember a situation when I went to a club, let's say I went to a club and I see this guy on the corner, very shy, like, oh my God, I feel like the most attraction person in the world. And I had a situation where I approached these people, they were like, no, they didn't believe me. They said, no, you're just taking a, can you imagine? And if I see someone like literally very normal, I like normal people. When I say normal, not normal people, I say normal, I mean like very casual. Yeah. It doesn't matter, when I see they are comfortable the way they are, somehow, it could be physically, it could be dressing up, could be anything. When I spot that, when I see that someone is literally, they don't care about whatever, how people they're gonna see them. But when I see, and I have a good eye for it actually, because I could tell so many situations that, I spot people there like talking or express themselves or, doing something that I could feel it, that they are themselves for some reason. Trust me, I was like,
oh, that's actually really lovely. It's a case of you see something they probably can't see themselves.
Yes,
but honestly, if you express that and share that with them enough, they actually start realizing, I actually see something I probably can't, and then they can start accepting that, and that can actually be a betterment for them, because a lot of people they're so in their own head they can't see the external factor of things, and once you do that, you can unlock so much for yourself.
My God, you made me, look, I got goosebumps now with your answer, because that's exactly what I meant. You said in a very beautiful way. Exactly. Right? I always tell people, look, always try to be yourself. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter if you people gonna look, you think that you are weird or you are different, because there's always someone that they're gonna like, they're gonna spot you. The right person, they're gonna see that. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's all. Like, it's so simple. It's so simple. There's always someone there that's gonna see you, and gonna spot you, and gonna appreciate the way you are, or the way you look, or the way you are expressing yourself, and that's when the connection starts. It's simple.
Absolutely. And it's always been the case of, I find there's a lot of people who are probably looking at you, but when you get someone who actually sees you, that's perfect. That's the wow.
They're gonna see the real person there, and that's when people get attracted to it. So, answer to your question, that exactly when I see someone behaving or expressing or being themselves, trust me, I just go like, I go there and go, you know what, I'm already in love with you, just without knowing who you are.
Oh, you are definitely a wonderful person, William.
Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean, Xander?
Oh,
exactly. Yeah. I love that. I love, because that's exactly, maybe that's how I've been single for a few years. Joking. But it's so true. For me, what gets my attention, it doesn't even need to be like in a love way or anything. It could be just like as a friendship. If I see someone, even if I don't feel like, it could be a relationship or anything, but if I feel someone like expressing the way they are, trust me, we can become best friends easily. So that's how I see. Amazing. You put me in spot. I love the question. Thank you.
A pleasure. Absolutely.
Did you enjoy the interview?
Oh, hell yeah. And I must say, you're a wonderful guy, William, and I hope I catch you in person at some point, because I'm definitely going to be giving you a big hug.
Oh, perfect. Oh, thanks so much. Thanks so much for it. It makes me shy now. I'm going to hide. I'm heading back to work now. Thanks so much, Xander. Thank you. And it's great to talk to you, knowing that you are, what I mean, expressing the way you are, and you are so open about sexuality as well, about your kink, journey. And I think it's amazing. People, they appreciate that. And it's good to connect with people when they are literally being themselves, express the way they are, how, whatever they feel, whatever they think, it's great for them. Amazing. Before you go, if you can share a positive message or anything that you live by.
I'd say one message, which is from a series I enjoyed when I was younger called Chorus Folk USA, quoted by an amazing character on it. It's this one small line, and I'd say it's one I've used and I've shared with many people. It's not who you love, it's how you love.
Amazing.
Beautifully simple.
Sweet, very sweet. Thanks so much. Regards to your family, and we keep in touch, okay? It was a pleasure, Xander. Take care,
I look forward to it, William. And you take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye for now.
So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first subscribe to our channel, and after that just go to our website www.williamandthemagicbox.com and send us a request saying why you'd like to be part of the show, and I see you there. Bye bye, see you next time.